Recording started. So let me just introduce us. So today, like this is the final session on of our data science part. First, we have done with probability statistics. Let me just walk you through that for continuous 13 days. So this is the last date. So you can go to for videos. No, you can go to Meetup uploads, Meetup videos. If you go here, so here for past for 13 days, we were taking sessions. On first session was data science, introduction to data science and statistics part. Second session is probability statistics, probability distribution. Third session was modules, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and fourth session was introduction to machine learning. Fifth session was machine learning, and sixth session was linear regression, multiple linear and linear regressions, and seventh session was logistic regression, like you can see one by one here. Random forest, KNN, and this is support vector machine and K-means algorithm. Then we have moved to deep learning, introduction to deep learning, ANN, CNN, RNN, and we are done with both three topics in the past 3 days, and this would be the last session. So last session is like Thompson sampling. Oh, create some WhatsApp update. So today, we'd be learning Thompson sampling and the other one. So so this is the end of the session today. So with this, we are completing with the data science part, and people who wants to like I guess how I don't know how many people have logged in and given the survey. So I would request you all to provide the. See, none of them has given a yes. I don't know, like you are interested or not. But anyway, like people who are seeing the video, please ensure that you take you give the reviews here, so that would be very really helpful for us to go with the sessions. And finally, like you can also, people who are viewing the video, you can also log into our you can also subscribe to our channel, or you can just click on any of these videos and you can click on subscribe, so that whatever videos we do it, you will get it on regular basis. You can subscribe or unsubscribe. You can give positive or you can give negative. If you are giving negative, like you can give the comments as well. So like you can do it. One second. And So that's it. Now we shall start the session, and you can also call us the support number 978-988-424 for any other queries. Is now Irfan. Now you shall start the session now.
Okay, can you make me as host? I will share my screen.
1 second.
So today we are going to cover upper confidence bound and Thompson sampling. These two algorithms are a part of reinforcement learning. These two algorithms only work on the probabilistic theory. So in probabilistic theory, we have a famous problem that is called multi-armed bandit problem. So you know this machine. So you need to pull this lever. So and you can, if you get the same thing here, so you won this machine and it will give you some rewards. So like that, if you have 5 machines here, so the same machines are 5 machines, so you need to find out if you pull the lever, which machine won and which machine has the more probability to won. Okay. Okay, this problem is like we have 5 machines. In these 5 machines, we need to find out which machine has the most probability to won. Okay, so not only for this problem we use upper confidence mode on Thompson sampling, we can use for the ads. Okay, let's say you have a cool drink ad. So in that cool drink we have multi-shaped drink bottles. So that drink bottles on the images are given to the websites. So in that website, if someone get to the website, so if that in that website that only will show only one ad. So in that ad, if that person click on that ad, so you will get reward. Okay, so like the same way, so we will do some survey. So on that survey, which advertisement has more rewards, that advertisement we can use for our cool drink. Okay, is what we are going to do. So take this, we are labeling these machines. So these machines, this is a probabilities distribution of these machines. So in this, if you see this machine, this is the fifth machine. If you see the average is higher than other machines, so you can visualize and you can see this machine has the more confidence uh, to be clicked. Let's say it's an ad. You have 5 ads, and this ad has the most probability to clickable. So we know that we can see and get information from this. So we can select this ad is the most probabilities has to select. But our algorithm should know which ad is the most clickable. So for that we use the upper confidence bound. So first we will see the multi-armed bandit problem, how it works. So we have the D arms, so D machines, and for example, sorry. So for example, arms are the ads, let's say, so that we display to user each time they connect to a web page. Okay, so each time a user connects to this web page, that makes a round. Okay, in that round we choose one ad to display. So that ad is clicked or not. If that is clicked, so we give a reward 1. If not clicked, we give a reward 0. Okay, so our goal is to maximize the total reward we get over many rounds. So if you get the maximum total reward which ad has, so that ad we will use for the cold drink. Okay, and now our what we are going to do is, let's say these five bands are our return value. So we know these are the distribution of the ads. So this the fifth ad has the higher value, higher probability. So we know that, but our algorithm need to find out which is the most clickable ad. Okay, for that, in upper confidence bound, what it will do, it will take this assumes, let's say these values are assumed. So all these ads have the same values. It's an assumption value. So from this assumption value, we will try to increase the confidence, and if this line that is equal to this line, so our return value, this is the what actual is, and this our algorithm takes, this is an assumption. So whenever you have this line and this line is equal, so that this ad has the more confidence on this ad. Okay, so for that, what we'll do, we will take a square on that. This is the confidence bound. This is called the confidence bound. So initially all these confidence bounds are same for all ads. So after that, what we do, we will select a ad randomly. We will select a ad. So we will check whether that is clicked or not. If that is clicked, we will move the average down. If sorry, let's say it's not clicked, so this ad is not clicked. So if not clicked, we move the average down, and we shrink the confidence bound. Okay, so the average is down now. So and we will shrink the confidence bound. Like the same way, we will another ad will select randomly, and now it's selected. And for this, we will try to find is clicked or not, this ad is clicked or not. Let's say this ad is clicked. So if that ad is clicked, so we will move the average upwards. So the average is upwards now, and the confidence bound is shrinking. So like the same way we do for randomly we will do. And now you can see this ad is selected, and if that ad is clicked, so we will move the average upward and shrink the confidence bound. Now we know that our uh, the ad 5 is the most probability to clickable. So now our algorithm came to this one. So this check whether that is clicked or not. So now this is clicked. So we move the average upwards. So from all of the distributions, we know that this has the higher average. So like the same way we do. So another time also it selected this ad d5, and now it check whether that is clicked or not. So it is clicked, and then we move the average upwards and shrink the confidence bound. The same way we do. And in the final round, we can see that our d5 has uh, finally you can see that uh, our average is equal to the what we are actually want. Okay, so now we know that it has a higher average, higher probability, so higher confidence on this ad. Okay, this what how the upper confidence worked. And now the steps involved in the upper confidence bound. And for at each round, the step one, at each round n, we consider two numbers for each ad. So NIN, the number of times the ad I was selected up to round n. So NIN is the number of ads. So the number of uh, times the ad is selected. Then the RIN is sum of rewards. So each time if the ad is selected, so we give some rewards. No, that's the RIN, the sum of rewards of the ad I up to round n. And the step 2 come to steps 2. So first we will see the first step, so in the implementation. So for the first step, what I did, I have this data set. I will show you that. So in this data set, sorry, it's had opened. So in this data set, you can see we have 10 ads. So 10 ads, we have values like ones and zeros. If the ad is clicked, we give the reward 1. If not clicked, we give 0. So in the first round, you can see the first ad uh, and the fifth ad and the ninth ad are selected. So like the same way, we have 10,000 data. From this 10,000 data, we are going to predict which ad has the most probability to select. So what I did, I just import the libraries and read the CSV, read the file. And now these are the first step. So these variables are the first step. I will tell you that. So NIN, NIN is the number of, so number of times the ad I was selected up to round n. So we have 10,000 is the 10,000 rounds, and D is the how many ads we have. So we are assigning another list ad selected to update the ads. And we have another list over here. So number of selections, initially the number of selection has 10 values. The 10 values are the zeros. So initially uh, we will take zeros in that, and then afterwards if that is selected, we will update the number of selections. And we have sum of rewards. These two is the NIN and this is an RIN, sum of rewards. And initially that also the rewards also 0. So we have 10 zeros. For 10 ads we have 10 zeros, and this is the total reward we will calculate. So these are the variables I have assigned. So this math I will use for finding the square root and log. So and then the step 2, if you see, the step 2 is from this from these two numbers we compute from the number of items and the sum of rewards, we compute the RIN, the reward. What is the reward for the ad? So up to round n we will calculate, and this goes like RIN is equal to capital RIN, this is the sum of rewards divided by the number of items. Okay, this is the reward here. So after calculating the reward, we will calculate the confidence interval. So the confidence interval like lambda in equal to square root of 3 log n divided by 2 nin. Okay, this is what I did here. So for n times means number of rounds. So number of rounds is 10,000, and I will loop over 10,000 times. So this will loop over 10,000 times. So I wrote a for loop for n in range 0 comma n. So n is our 10,000, and we select initially we select add 0. So and then max upper bound, so which has the maximum upper bound, that will assign also 0 for this round. For the first round, the maximum upper bound initially 0. And what we are trying to do in here in this for loop, so we will iterating those ads, the 10 ads. For every ads we will calculate the number of selections. So initially all the ads, the number of selection is 0, we know that. So in that number of selections we have 10 zeros. So we are looping into 0 to 10. So number of selection of I means initially the first 0, number of selection of 0. we know that all the ads is selected 0 times. So we put a condition, if that not 0, that is greater than 0, then we do this. And otherwise what it will, so the first round, of course it will come in the else block. So what we are doing here, so we are assigning a larger confidence bound. Okay, first initially for every ads, so it will 0. So for every ad we are assigning a confidence bound. Okay, so we know that initially we are for every ad, no, we have the same confidence bound. So you can see this. So like that we take uh, a large amount of confidence interval, and then we are assigning as a upper bound. Okay, so then we will come to this point. These three are the calculation of this reward. So this thing, this is step 2. So what we are doing here, so we'll calculate the average reward. Average reward is the RIN, so small RIN. So we are subtracting the sum of rewards divided by the number of times. So that's the thing. Here sum of rewards of that ad, so of that particular ad. So you have 10 ads. Initially the first ad, sum of rewards of the first ad divided by the sum of selection number of selections of that ad. Okay, so we are dividing it and storing it in the average reward variable. So and then what we are doing, so and then we are calculating the delta in, is the confidence interval. So that is square root of 3 by 2 log n divided by NIN. So this thing we are doing here. So math, we are using the math library for square root and the log to calculate. And the square root of 3 by 2, square root of 3 by 2 and multiplied by the log n divided by NIN. And the log of, why we are doing n plus 1 is because our ranges start from 0 to n. We don't want the 0 is because if you give the 0, everything will become 0. So we give from start from 1, or else you can start from 1 to n plus 1, or you can give here n plus 1. Okay, and then divided by the number of selections, so NIN. So NIN is the number of selections of that ad. Okay, and then and the step 3 what we are doing, we select the ad I that has the maximum upper bound. So we are adding the reward and the confidence interval. So RIN plus delta IN, so average reward plus delta I. So it will become upper bound if that number of selection is greater than 0. Okay, not 0. If that ad, the number of selection is greater than 0, we do the calculation, the 3 steps. But if the number of selection is 0, we are assigning a maximum confidence bound. And then what we are doing, we are putting a condition, if the upper bound is greater than max upper bound. So initially the max upper bound is 0, so the upper bound is greater than max upper bound. Then what we are doing, we are assigning the upper bound we calculated to the maximum upper bound. Then the maximum upper bound will become whatever the value in the upper bound, so this one or this one. Okay, so initially this one will become maximum upper bound, 1 e power 400. And for which ad has the most maximum upper bound, so we select the ad. So for the loop going on, the ad will change. So initially uh, the first ad has the most upper bound. Then we are comparing, so we know that upper bound is larger than maximum larger than 0. So we are assigning the maximum upper bound to the upper bound we calculated. And then we select the ad, which ad has the maximum upper bound. And then we do for 10 times for all the ads we do. After the for loop, we can get the ad, what ad So in the first round, okay, remember that. So in the first round, which add as the maximum upper bound, okay, and that adds selected dot append the add. So which add as the in the first round, which add has the maximum upper bound, we will just add in the list. So add selected list here. So we will add that. So later we can see that initially the first 0 to 9 will select. So other 0 to 9, so that means the 10 will select, and after that it will become some randomness, we can see that. And then the next line, the 33, what we are doing, we are adding the number of selections, adding that. So we are incrementing the number of selections. So for you can see here, so number of selection, initially the 10 values are 0. So if you do for round 1, so in that round 1 we can get any one of add, so we don't know that. So that add we will increment, for that add we will increment by the 1. So this, for this round, this add is selected, so like that. And then we calculate the reward. Sorry, the reward is if that add is selected we give 1, if that not selected we give 0, no. So that's what we are doing. So reward equal to dataset dot values n comma add. That means in the dataset what we are having is here. So in the first round, so let's say this first round, which ad is selected, let's say this ad is selected, okay, and this ad has the 1. So this value will be incremented by this. So the reward will become 0 or 1. So based on the round and the ad are selected, and then we add the reward to the sum of rewards in the list. For that ad we will add the reward, so that is 1. So we will increment by the 1, and we will calculate the total reward. So the total reward we will increment by the reward, so what we have. So this will do for one round. For each and every round we will do the same thing. And then after that we are having the ad selected means in that list we are having the numbers 0 to 9. uh, is because index start from 0, so 0 to 9, the 10 advertisement we are having in the ad selected list. So we are doing histogram. That means for histogram, for each and every value, let's say 1, so first add how many times it's selected and what is the how many times it's selected, okay. And then for second add how many times is selected. So like that we do a histogram. So we title histogram of ad selection and label the X label as ads, Y labels number of times each ad was selected, okay. And then if you run this, so you can see a histogram in there. So that histogram represent the ad selected. So you can see this ad has the most selected one. So what's the ad, the fifth ad. So it's the index start from 0, so the 4 is fifth ad. So fifth ad has the higher time is selected. So this ad was selected more times. So our upper confidence bound had selected this ad, has more confidence on this ad, okay. And this is how the upper confidence bound works. So I will tell you one more time this one. So what we are doing here, we are assigning an n value, number of rounds and the ads, so number of ads, and we are assigning a list ad selected. In that ad selected, finally we have this selected ads with the number of times. So at 0 how many times it's less than 1000, like that. And then we assign another list number of selections, how many times the ad is selections. So initially that is 0, and sum of rewards for all the ad we will give some rewards. So initially that is 0, and then we do this all things 10,000 times. So number of rounds we will do, and for each and every term we will calculate the for each and every ad we will calculate the reward. If that in that round, this ad, let's say the second ad has the most upper bound, so we select that ad. So ad selected, we'll append the ad, and then we will update the number of selections and the sum of rewards and the total rewards. Okay, now if you see the ad selected, so if you see the ad selected initially, there are values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It comes in the order, but if you move forward you can see it will some randomness is there. Okay, if you move 10,000s we have, so we can see some randomness is over there. So initially is for all the ads that is same. So for every round is just changing the upper bound, and then so we can see some randomness here. It's not ordered. Okay, so this how is working the upper confidence bound. For the same problem, we do for Thompson sampling also. First we will see Thompson sampling. What is the Thompson sampling is? So the steps of Thompson sampling. So in that Thompson sampling, no, it's a pure probabilistic way, but before the upper confidence bound is the deterministic way, but Thompson sampling is the pure probabilistic way. So what we are doing here, at each round n we consider two numbers. So that is number of items the ad I got the reward 1. Okay, so we calculate the ad as reward 1 up to round n. The same way we calculate 0 if the ad is getting 0 up to round n. So and then for each ad we take the random draw from the distribution below. So beta is a beta variate, so we can calculate that. So is the number of times the ad I got 1, and then adding this 1, and the for 0 also we do. This is the theta value. So now we select the ad that has the highest theta in. This is a very simple, and what the sampling, the Thompson sampling is doing. So let's say uh, is the distributions, but it's not like the same one in the upper confidence bound. Is the distribution. See these points are our observations. From these observations we draw a distribution for the three ads we do. For the three things we do the same one, and these lines are the return value. This is the actual return value. So we know that, but this Thompson sampling algorithm need to find out. Okay, so for this what we do, initially we will take some random values in that. So in the distribution, for every distribution we take a random value. So for blue is here, for yellow is here, and for green is here. These three are our banded here. So in that remember in the upper confidence bound we take the bandage, no, upper bound. So like that we are taking randomly these three banded. So from this banded we select which has the largest value. So we know that in this line this has the largest value. So if that is the largest value, uh, we will adjust the distribution. So we'll adjust the average of this distribution, the green distribution, and okay, and then so the average will move, this average of the distribution will move. And for this the second round, for n rounds we will do the same thing. So we'll generate our own bandit so randomly, and let's say the next round the yellow is here and the green is here and the blue is here. So we know that yellow is the maximum value, and then we will move the average of the yellow, so average of the yellow. So we do for n rounds. So after that we can see the average is becoming near to the actual return value. So for this green is here, but for yellow is very near, so we can select this ad as the most confidence on that. So this is how the Thompson sampling is working. And let's see this in the implementation. So first, the same thing we do. First, we will import the library and read the file, the same thing, and this also same uh, the variables that are here in the upper conference bound. The same variables we are doing here. Just the method is different, but in the sampling the method is different, but in the upper conference the method is different. Okay. For each and every times we in the Thompson sampling we take different bandit, but in the upper confidence we have the same bandit, but we are just moving the average towards the actual return value. Okay. So the variables are same. Now we are importing the random variables because to select the random bandits. Okay. For every ads we select a random bandits, and then so we are import the random module and the variables declared for 10,000 times. Okay, 10,000 rounds. For each and every time we'll do this thing. Okay, this thing we'll do, and let's see one by one. So the same thing, add equal to 0. Initially the add is 0. For add 0 we'll calculate the reward, and max random equal to 0 we are assigning. And then for every add, so for till 0 to 10, for every add we will calculate the random beta is nothing but this one. So we'll calculating the beta of ni getting 1, number of times getting 1, and the number of times getting 0 plus 1. Okay, this is what we are doing here. So for each and every time, so in that in the variable you can see we are not having the uh, uh, one reward list, but we have two reward list. So first reward list we have, if that ad gets 1 we will update this list. If the ad is getting 0 we will update this list. Okay. And then we are calculating the beta variate to calculate the beta value. So this one, and the random dot beta variate of, so getting 1. So number of rewards getting 1 plus 1. So number of times that ad is getting 1 plus 1. The same thing, number of times the ad is getting 0 plus 1. That's what we are doing here. So number of times the ad is getting 1. So we will fetch from the number of rewards 1. The same thing for 0. Number of rewards 0 getting 1. And we will calculate the random beta. So beta variate. And then of course we will check whether the random beta is greater than the max random. So like the same thing we are done here. So if the upper bound is max greater than the max upper bound, we will assign the max upper bound as upper bound. The same way we will check whether the random beta is greater than max random. If that's in, we will update the max random and put that add. So which add as the maximum random okay. And then the same thing goes here. So we'll add the add in the add selected list, and then we will calculate the reward we can get from the file. So if the ad is clicked, so we can get the reward 1. So if doesn't, the reward is 0. So if the reward is 1, where so we know that it has uh, two lists is there. So if the reward is 1, so we will update the reward 1 list, okay, not the reward 0 list. If the reward is 0, we will update the reward number of rewards 0, okay, and then we calculate the total reward. Okay, this is a very simple one, the Samsung sampling, but it is very efficient when compared to upper confidence bound. Okay, and Thompson sampling, it can work a smaller number of data set also it can work. But if you see in the upper confidence bound, if you're giving 10,000 data also, it is giving some confidence for this data, this ad also. But in the Thompson sampling, it can efficiently, it can work. It will give uh, it can work in the over when you have a less number of data sets also. Even I mean, I'm assigning 10,000, but if you assign 1,000 also, it can work. So let's run this. I hope you understand this calculations. Any doubts in that you can ask. I will just run this file, and you can see that. So this the same thing goes here. The fifth ad has the more confidence, but in the Thompson sampling, if you see for this ads are no confidence in that. So just fetching this ad has the more confidence on that. But in the upper confidence, it gives some importance for this ad also. And let's see if that works in the less number of data sets. So if I am if I am removing 1 0, it become 1,000. So and let's see, from 1,000 data, it's now for 1,000 data it's also giving the same ad, but some ads are more confidence. Okay, okay, and let's see if this working or not in the 1,000 data. So in the 1,000 data, no, it's giving more confidence for these ads also. This also give me a correct ad, but for this ad it's giving confidence, no more confidence it is giving for this ad. But in the Thompson sampling, it's not doing like that. Okay, but and also Thompson sampling is a probabilistic way. So it's just getting the randomly, it's just doing. But in the upper confidence bound, it is deterministic way. So it's just selected the upper bound, and then it's just for every round it's just moving the average. So this what's the difference between upper confidence and Thompson sampling. Now any doubts in that? Any doubts from this? Any doubts?
Irfan,
Yes.
no, actually now we have the 10 ads in the web page. So what is our objective? We are going to tell the customer ad 4
No,
is,
which ad has the which let's say you are having a cold drink ad. In that cold drink ad, the same company as doing the different ads. Okay, from the different ads, which ad as covering the more customers. This is what we are predicting here.
okay, this is predicting, is it?
Not
Or
like that.
this is the, see, this is actually already they viewed or not is the thing, right?
Yes, yeah. If that is the ad is clicked, so we give 1, otherwise we give 0. So
Okay,
not predicting like that, it is telling this ad has the this algorithm upper confidence bound has more confidence on this ad to be clicked. Okay, so from this you can assume that this you can for our cold drink you can use this ad, so it has it's covering more customers.
okay. Now, see, the thing is, you are telling, let us say, Coke.
Yeah.
Coke has, so many, like, within Coke itself,
Mm.
they have so many other cool drinks
Ads. Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
So, in that ad, which ad gives more revenue, or what is the thing I'm not
Yeah,
understanding?
revenue like that, which add as more revenue and most covering most uh,
Because see, what I'm trying to say is this: how many times they have clicked.
that
If
ad.
if
Yeah.
if the, if the chart, if they give it from the database, I can plot this graph straightforward, right? So this has been clicked so many times. I'm just trying to see what this formula is going to give insight.
No, this not this data set is not from it's giving a reward. Okay, it's clicked. If that is clicked, so it's giving a reward 1. If not clicked, it's giving a reward 0. So using these algorithms, we calculate the rewards. Okay, for every uh, ads has more rewards in the probabilistic way. We can also count how many is that, but here in the probabilistic way it is just doing. We know that in that ads this much time is selected.
The this using Power BI or so many different reporting tool. Uh, Actually, I can do it straightforward. This formula, I'm still not clear why I'm using this Python formula to
No,
get the confidence level.
it's
That's
like
that difference.
let's say for every ads, so it has selecting the ad is has some probability. If you get this example in the multi-armed bandit example, so for every machine has the equal chance to be won. Okay, from initially we don't know that which which machine will won, from the which machine you can won, but every machine has the same probability. Okay, so we are doing some samples, and based on the samples is a probabilistic way, we will try to find out which has the most probability to own. So from this machines, let's say this machine has 0.2% probability and this machines has 0.15%. So like that, let's say this machine has a 0.35. So from the whole machine, this machine has the 0.35% probability to be won. So like that.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Any other doubts?
Uh, Documents, sharing documents, no, it would not be free of cost. Please pay rupees 500 to get those documents if you need. You can call us 978 988 424. and you can pay rupees 500 to get documents if you need. I guess whatever thing, everything has been displayed in the video, so you can see the video and you can get the thing. Any doubts, please ask.
And also, if you remember the what is reinforcement learning, so reinforcement learning is based like uh, doing some actions and getting the rewards based on these actions. It's like it's learning it owns. Okay, based on these actions it's just learning things. So this upper confidence bound and Thompson sampling is a reinforcement learning algorithm. So it's just trying to learn this thing. So based on the some actions and some getting that if that action is correct, so it's getting that reward. So like this it's working. And reinforcement learning in reinforcement learning also other algorithms also we have like q learning, SAS. So these algorithms we will use for getting that actions, which action has the more impact on the output. So like that. So we will cover in the next series, that will cover next series, the q learning and deep reinforcement learning. This is just an example for that. It's a simple algorithm in reinforcement learning. These two are.
Actually, we would start the next series in English because we need to go with Tamil next. So all these sessions would be repeated in Tamil. After that, no, we'll give a 1 month gap, and maybe by August 15th or by that time, no, we'll be starting in English again, and we would go with in next series there will be more sessions added, and it will be around 25 sessions to 30 sessions would be added in deep reinforcement learning. Lots of topics, no, we would be covering, but that will be after 2 months, like. And we will be starting in Tamil soon. Any doubts you have, please let us know. Final call. Any doubts? Any? I guess there is no doubts, and we have given ample time for clearing our doubts. And I guess thank you, Irfan. Thank you, Dinesh. I we would do the complete service again in Tamil. That because we are basically from Tamil Nadu, so we also do it in Tamil as well. So people who's from Tamil medium and who wants to learn more into big data, that is big data, data science, machine learning, deep learning, that will also help them as well. Because our thing is that our language is that, so we take it in English and also we take it in Tamil as well. So please, in Google, just give bigdatahandson.com, and in this, no, like you can just go there, you can go here and click on reviews. So you can just click on reviews and give your reviews. I guess few people has given it already, I'm sorry, like a few people has given, and one is Menaka, Menuka Gurang, Subhash Shankar, and Bona Sudhakar, Sharmila Mohanraj, Malik Arjun, and Subhash Lakshmi has given your reviews. Who's no, like you can also give your reviews. Who's no, if you are giving a little, or also give your comments so we can clear it out in our next sessions. Like we would sort it out in our next sessions. No, we would able to sort it out in our next sessions. So only 5 people has given your comments. Please provide your comments as well, so that no, it would be helpful for us to cope up. It would be really helpful. And also people who is seeing these videos, no, please ensure that no, you give your comments as well. And our website is bigdatahandson.com. You can find our videos and you can have our contact numbers here in this sorry, here in this session, in this number. No, this is our number. You can call us, you can WhatsApp us anytime, 978-988-424, 9566182384. And also, you know, like you can just click on Meetup uploads, Meetup videos, and you can see our videos. Like you can see all our videos. So until yesterday's video is here, say you can see that RNN is here, CNN is there, ANN is there. So until yesterday's video is here, you can just click on this and you can just watch out the video. See, recurrent neural networks is yesterday's topic is here. And also the third thing is you can also go to reinforcement, sorry, that is the YouTube's, and you can also subscribe to our channel, bigdatahandson.com. And you can subscribe, you can on either you can click on subscribe, or you can click on you can also click on the bell icon which is near to it, so you can find here. And also you can click on the likes or dislikes. If you are giving dislikes, you can see that you can give your comments so that we can rectify in our next sessions. That's it. So thank you all. And also you can on join in our WhatsApp group if you like if you want to join in our WhatsApp group. Let me just send you the link. So G20 is full. So let me just send it in G18. G20. So if you want, no, you can invite all your friends. So G19. So if you want, no, you can also invite your friends. I will also put it in this one in our chat window. So if you want, no, if you are interested, you can join in our chat group. So that's it. So any doubts, no, please give us a call, 978-988-424, or myself, Dinesh, Irfan. We are there to help on these. If you want to have documents, it is already there. You can check out the videos. No, it will just go one by one. So we have it is there. It is already there in the videos. So you can see those videos and check out for the documents. But if you still need all those documents, all those materials, you know, like you can pay rupees 500 and give your mail ID. You can WhatsApp us. Then you will get it, because everything, no, if you give free of cost, no, it will not be worthy. So please ensure, please, if you want materials, you can take it from the video which you already have. If you are typing it from that video, no, it would be really good. but still no, I don't have any time to type or something like that, then you can pay rupees 500 and get those materials with you. Oh no, that's it. So people know who are from Chennai, in Chennai, you already know that we are all operating from Chennai. Myself and Irfan is operating from Chennai, Palavakam. We are all working from home and we are supporting you. And Dinesh Kumar, he is working from Kallakurichi. He's his native. He has gone to his native, and he is working from a farmhouse which is near to Kallakurichi. So myself, like we, like Chennai's thing is very poor, or day by day, cases are very increasing huge. Please take care of your family, and please take care of all the family members. So we need to be very safe and very secure at this point of time. And also, please do not leave to your native at this point of time, because at this point of time from Chennai, if you are leaving to other districts like Trichy or Madurai or Kovai, or at this point of time, no, like it is not good. It would not be a healthy practice, because all other people from our native places, no, would be safe and secure. Please, people from Chennai, do not leave from Chennai now at this point. Maybe after 2 months, the things would get all right. After that, we can leave to our native places. So,
Hello.
yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. So, Mr. Khalil, what about Pondicherry, Khalil?
Pondicherry, what is it?
Yeah, there is increasing the.
No. Pondicherry, it is around very, very less
Uh-huh.
cases. It
Okay.
is very, very minimal. Like it is just 100 or 120, 200, I guess, total 200. But in Chennai, it is around 30,000. Today's exact count is Chennai, it is
So,
around.
from Pondicherry to some other districts, transportation is going or?
No. Everything is blocked, I guess. Everything is blocked because they want to save Pondicherry.
Okay.
So they are blocking, they are quarantining themselves so
Mm-hmm.
they can be secured.
Okay.
So nowadays, no, the people, Chennai, it has crossed 30,000 today.
Okay.
30,444 is the count in Chennai. In
Okay.
Chengalpattu, it is 2,500. In Kanjipuram,
Day to day, it is increasing, no?
it is increasing
Overall,
rapidly.
overall
So
in Tamil Nadu and other locations
yeah,
also
yeah,
increase.
in other locations, but in Tamil Nadu, only in Chennai and Chengalpet and this near to Chennai, there is lots of cases. In other places, there is no that much of cases. So more people are leaving from Chennai to their
Okay.
native places.
Okay.
So that is not advisable
Hello.
at this point of time. So people who's moving from Chennai, like each so other people from other districts, they would get scared of the pandemic um, spreading. So at this point of time, for 3 months, no, you should be in Chennai itself. People who are in Chennai, they should be in Chennai itself
Okay,
to
good.
safeguard
Thank you.
other
Thank you.
people
Thank
who is in other districts. Just I want to also tell that. So stay safe, stay in your home, work from home, and if needed, please you can go outside and get things for your family, like grocery items and others. Maybe it will take like 2-3 months to overcome this one. And until then, if you want to learn in Tamil, we'll be taking sessions in Tamil again. Maybe it will start in 2-3 days. Same time, morning 6:30 to 7:30. So actually, we'll have our namaz by 5:30 or 5 o'clock, and after that, exactly that's what we take it at 6:30 to 7:30. So our work will not get affected, and also, we can. It is a morning time, so it would be good for all others to learn things during this pandemic, so they can during after 6 months, this is easy, this is okay for you to self learn data science, machine learning, deep learning, stuffs. So in 6 months, when things are good, no, then you will have lots of business opportunities and lots of company would be hiring for machine learning. In that case, you can go with that. So thank you all for the sessions. So please, others who have not posted the Google reviews, please post it. Thank you all. Bye.